This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jay McLovin flying solo dolo on the afternoon show with you guys today. Gonzo, Tony, Frankie, Logan, they all got things to do. Apparently, I have nothing to do. So therefore, I'm going to give you my version of the quickest show ever because we're just going to do some recaps. We're going to start off with the Saturday, Saturday games. For college football. If you guys follow college, I'm only going to do about 3 of them. The first one I'm going to talk about is Ole Miss versus Oklahoma. As you know, Ole Miss came off a tough loss against Georgia. I thought they were going to pull that one out, which actually knocked them down in the rankings, knocked Georgia up in the rankings. So Lane Kiffin will have to take another stab at trying to get back into that top 4. And what better way to do that than to take on Oklahoma in another SEC showdown type of game where Oklahoma is favored heavily in this game. Not heavily, but moderately, I should say. It's probably a better word. Moderately favored. I think the spread is 5.5. And as Pags always says about 5.5, they're no good. They're jinxes. So I'd probably stay away betting this game. And I'd probably pick another game. Maybe the LSU game, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Or maybe the Vanderbilt game might be better options if you're going to choose an SEC-type game to bet on. I probably would not bet on the Ole Miss Oklahoma game. I don't like 5.5 spreads. I actually think Oklahoma is going to take this one. I think Oklahoma wants to get back in the rankings. I think they want to continue to climb up the SEC chart. And this is a good game to do it. Oklahoma, obviously, as you know, took the loss against Texas. Archie Manning's only really good, respectable win of the season. I see Archie and them watching this game closely to see how Oklahoma does. We always pay attention to Oklahoma. If you're a Texas person, that's typically who we watch. So just keep an eye on that game. Chamblees has 1,500 passing yards. Mateer has about almost 1,600 passing yards. The only real difference for me is a run game where Lacey for Ole Miss has 618 versus the 391 by Blaylock. But again, when you start looking at the other ones, talk about the sack leaders for each team and the tackles and all that kind of stuff. Thomas has a 5.5 on the D-line for Oklahoma, whereas Zares has at the defensive tackle spot 3 sacks. Again, this game is in Oklahoma, and if you were going to bet on this game, I would have bet on Oklahoma to win it. I don't think Ole Miss covers the spread, so I think Oklahoma is going to take it outright. Take that information for what you will. The second game I'm going to go through real quick is the Vanderbilt-Missouri game. Again, both of these guys are 6-1. Both of them are showing that they have something to offer. Vanderbilt looks pretty good. Vanderbilt looks like a spoiler team for me for a lot of other programs. I think once we enter the playoffs, I'd watch this Vanderbilt team pretty closely. They're looking pretty good. I think Vanderbilt right now is at 55% chance of winning. So we'll see how that goes. Again, this is going to be the battle of Prabula for Missouri at 1,600 yards to Vanderbilt's Pavia at just under 1,600 yards. So they're both pretty neck and neck. Now, the rushing game, that's where this one kind of goes a little bit left. Hardy has 840 yards for Missouri to 438 yards for Vanderbilt. So I would see a lot of running coming out of Missouri going up against this Vanderbilt team. I think clock management would be a big thing. Sacks, they're pretty evenly. Wilson's got 5.5 on that defensive end spot for Ole Miss to 4.5 on the edge for Capers for Oklahoma. So I expect this to be a heavy run game out of Missouri going against Vanderbilt, and I would probably watch for Vanderbilt to try to stack up on that run defense, and we'll see how it goes from there. But I am going to pull for Vanderbilt on this one. I think Vanderbilt at number 10 versus Missouri at number 15. This has been Vanderbilt team. They've been up against some tough opponents. So I'm going to look for Vanderbilt to take that win and continue to move up themselves as well and get further up that top 10 ranking. The last game we'll talk about quickly before we go into NFL would be the A&M versus LSU game. A&M is at 7-0. LSU is at 5-2. A&M currently is ranked number 3 to LSU's number 20 ranked. So this is going to be a big game for LSU. They need this game to get themselves out of a rut about as much as Texas needs a game like this, even though they're playing Mississippi State, which I'm not really talking about Texas and Mississippi State, because anybody knows about Mississippi State, they're the worst damn team in the SEC, in my opinion. So I really could give two craps about SEC not about SEC. I do care about SEC, but about Mississippi State. Because if you know, last year, though, Archie Manning did play against Mississippi State and one of, I think, 3 games that Ewers was on injured list for. What's up, Joe? What's up, Joe? So I would look primarily for A&M to try to get this win and continue that motion up the ladder ranks. But LSU really could. I mean, they could use this win big time. I think if they get this win against number 3 Texas A&M, this probably could put them up to around. I think they move up about 4 or 5 spots. I think they probably move up to about 14, 15 if they beat number 3 A&M. And I think A&M, if they take this loss, it would be their first loss. LSU probably drop some. I think Texas A&M is going to safely stay in the college playoffs. Even if they take the loss against LSU, they'll stay in the playoffs. So I don't think they're in terms of that. I don't think they're in terms of losing that. But everybody wants to keep the credibility right now at SEC level. So A&M, I think Georgia has a defeat on them. Alabama has a defeat on them. Texas obviously has a defeat on them. So I think A&M is actually probably the top-ranked SEC team right now. So they're kind of carrying the torch for the SEC in the top 4. I think right now you got Oregon at number 1. A&M obviously is at 3. I forget who's at 2. I feel like I should know who's at 2, but I don't off the top of my head. And I think Miami dropped down to 9. Let me pull up the rankings real quick. So, yeah, so OSU is ranked 1. Indiana, I should know this. Gonzo would kill me on this. Gonzo is ranked number 2 at Indiana, and then A&M is at 3, and then Alabama is at 4 at 6-1, and Georgia's at 6-1 as well as as Oregon. So all 3 of those teams are at 4, 5, and 6, all 6-1. Georgia Tech is trying to get up in there at 7-0. So I'm curious to see if Georgia Tech can climb up into that top 4. It would take a lot for them to get up to the top 4, but I mean, I don't know. I didn't see Georgia Tech playing this good. I don't know if any of you guys, if you did, put it in the comments. If you did, yeah, I'm flying solo dolo. Jay doesn't typically fly solo dolo. He usually likes to have a co-host there. I don't know what to do. I'm talking to myself. So, but yeah, so I'm doing that by myself. But no, look at that Georgia Tech team, man. I need to do more research into that team. I haven't really seen who all they played, to be honest with you. Let me pull that up. That might be a good start real quick, and then we'll get into NFL. So Georgia Tech has beaten Duke, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, Temple. Clemson was their big win, right? Clemson was back when Clemson was ranked 12. And then G-Web, don't really know too much about who that is, and Colorado Buffaloes, and they barely got past Colorado with 1 score. So I got to tell you, when I look at the rest of the schedule, they got Syracuse, they got North Carolina State University, BC, Pitt, and then they're going to end the season respectably against Georgia, who's ranked right now at number 5. So I don't know. I mean, Georgia Tech, seemingly has a fairly easy schedule until they get up to facing Georgia at the end of the season. So I don't see Georgia Tech falling off anytime before the Georgia game. So the Georgia game really is going to be their national championship, if you will. And they couldn't even see that. They couldn't even see each other sooner than that. So we'll see. But anyway, Georgia Tech, as good as they are, that schedule does not look exactly daunting. So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see more from Georgia Tech. Going into football real quick, that's kind of what I wanted to get into, and then we'll go from there. By the way, real quick, since we're transitioning into NFL, what's going on with all this damn gambling in NBA? Boy, I tell you what, is this starting to explode or what? I know Arenas got busted not long ago for illegal gambling, and it seemed like right after that, it seemed like everything started to take a left and start to go downhill. Now you're seeing Rozier get busted. seeing Chauncey Billups get busted. KG has been linked to being there when all these poker games and stuff were going down. So I'm curious to see. I always say for every cockroach you find, there's a million you didn't find. So I'm really curious to see where this all goes with this NBA probing. I also think it's very interesting that all this probing came out after there was a syndicate in college football betting and shaving and doing things there. So, like I said, it started out with NCAA. Now we're talking about this betting and basketball. I wouldn't be surprised if baseball and the amount of betting that's going on in baseball that nobody knows about, and nobody wants to talk about the fact that Chauncey Billups should be joining the likes of Pete Rose in terms of the witch hunt for those who bet while still coaching and or playing. An NBA has a rat in the house. Yeah, there's a rat, Joe. Oh, there's a rat. And I think we're just seeing the beginning of it all. And it always starts with the rat, right? Even take the Astros. That's my team. Again, I'm not an advocate for cheating in any way, shape, or form. Everybody knows that. I'm sorry about the Astros. I'm sorry we used trash cans. But it doesn't erase 2022, so I don't want to hear nothing about it. We still came back kicked ass, so I'm going to take that for what it is. But with that being said, yeah, there's always a rat, Joe. And we know who our rat was with the Astros organization. Again, I am not condoning the use of cheating, but I'm also not condoning the use of a snitch. And Matt Fires, however you want to say your name, when the Astros didn't want you after 17, they sent you off to someplace else. I guess you didn't feel a certain kind of way about it. So you wanted to start naming names, naming this, that, and or the other. Never in the comma. If you're the Astros, you probably should have kept Fires. Loose ships always sink ships, and our ship got sunk just like the NBA, NFL, NCAA, MLB. They're all going to join that ship at some point. I promise you. Gambling is much, much heavier in sports than we all think it is. And I'm not, and again, I know the NFL just started bringing in all these betting places and stuff to start sponsoring and doing things like that. And that's fine. I mean, it's not going to change anything, but at the same time, it's like the NFL speaks out the side of both of his mouths. They don't want his players gambling, but yet they're going to promote gambling. Well, last time I checked, a human being is a natural cosm, and we tend to gravitate to things, and we are very addictive as a species. So if you want to, I guess they want to quell betting in sports, but then they want to promote betting for sports. I don't know. It's like you're having your cake and eat it too. And I think as people who are addicted to things, you're never going to get rid of betting. That ain't never going to happen. I mean, it's been going on since the Chicago Black Sox when they were shaving points through the World Series. So why is it going to stop in 2025? It's not. It's just going to get better, or more people are going to talk about it and then get busted. That's pretty much how it goes, right? Anyway, with that being said, I place a couple of bets here and there. Not a big deal. Not very good at gambling. I don't typically do it very much because I'm not good at it. I tend to vote with my heart more than what the stat sheets are saying. So I don't know if that'd be a good way to bet. So I don't really do it. I just talk about it, but I don't bet it. With that being said, let's talk about Sunday's games. First one we're going to talk about is Dolphins-Falcons. It's the Dolphins. I don't know how much we're really going to expect out of the Dolphins. Tua obviously been benched. McDaniel's job is on the line. Falcons, they're right there in the hunt of things. They're at 3-3, trying to make something out of themselves. I'm going to go Falcons on this one. Only because the Dolphins are just such a disarray that it would be hard for anybody to lose to the Dolphins unless you're just trying to lose to the Dolphins. Jets, Bengals. Jets, I always love this. Aaron Glenn says he does not want to name his coach, his quarterback. He wants to keep it under who the quarterback for this week is going to be. Does it really matter if you're keeping your guy under wraps or not, Aaron Glenn? Do you think it's really going to matter if you tell me it's Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor or whoever it is you have back there lurking after Tyrod? Do you think it's really going to matter? Why are you disclosing who your quarterback is? It makes no sense to me. Your team is garbage dump. Even though I will tell you this, and I'm going to stick by it, Aaron, I do think that there is a better swag version of this team than I've seen in the past years. I know you haven't won any games, and I know that's going to be a big thing for a lot of people, is the fact that the Jets they haven't won a game, so we don't look at it as improvement. I look at it as this. I do think, if you look at the Jets over the course of the season, all of their losses have been by one for the most part. I think they had one game where they did get blown out. I forget the team offhand that blew them out. But if you look at the majority of the Jets games, we're only talking one possession wins here. It's not like this Jets team is getting beat out. They just can't finish a game, But I do think Aaron Glenn has turned the page a little bit on this Jets team. We'll see, but that's a long way to go. He said Jets going to start the water boy. You know what? At this point, why not? Is it really going to hurt you to start the water boy? Maybe we'll get a Bobby Boucher in there. Who knows? If the Philadelphia Eagles, if you watch the movie Invincible, which they did do, Dick Vermeil did do an open tryouts. Would it really hurt the Jets to open up tryouts and just see what the hell they could gather up? Never know. Just saying. But no, for this game, in terms of the winner, we're going to go with the Bengals, and we're going to ride the arm of Flacco another week. I think Flacco is going to get the win over the Jets, and he's going to enjoy another week of feeling what a successful quarterback should feel like, at least for one more week against the Jets. Then we got the Patriots and Browns. I guess we'll continue to watch the Dylan Gabriel saga play out and see how he continues to develop as the season goes along. And then we'll also see if he goes in there and screws up the bed again. How long will they wait to put Shador in there? Who knows? But I do have the Patriots taking down the Browns. As much as I don't like the Patriots, and Frankie knows I don't like the Patriots, that team is playing well enough to beat some teams in this league, to include the one Buffalo Bills. I mean, they are the division leader. I guess I shouldn't discount the fact that they're the division leader, right? That's my inner Frankie coming out. Jay, you're being a homer. You're not giving my team enough credit. Okay, you're right, Frank. I don't give the Patriots enough credit. Okay, I'll give you credit this way. You're gonna beat the Browns, and you're gonna improve to 6-2. And Vrabel's gonna look like the best thing since sliced bread. But let's all be fair. It's Josh McDaniels, right? Does anybody here think that Vrabel's really the one that's turning this team around? Or is it the fact that they got a competent, good offensive coordinator that knows how to call an offensive game plan? Maybe that's really the magic. Because, let me see. McDaniels was there during the Belichick years, had great success. Belichick goes off to not Belichick. Josh McDaniels goes off to the Raiders, and all of a sudden, Belichick looks like crap because he put Patricia and Joe Judge as the offensive coordinator. I know what they were thinking with that. I guess Bill thought he was so good that he could throw a defensive and a special teams coordinator in there, and he can still make it work. No, Bill. No. I know it didn't work in there. How's it working out there in North Carolina with your girlfriend at your heels? Yeah, North Carolina not looking too good either. So let that marinate for a little bit. I've said it once before that Josh McDaniels effect is incredible. Brady, 6th-round pick, greatest quarterback all time. Josh McDaniels was associated with him. Then you get Mac Jones. Again, Josh McDaniels, first-year Pro Bowl in the playoffs. Then you decide to throw a defensive coordinator in there, and you look like doggy dog boo-boo. And then you get the version of John Mayo before we get what we got now. And then there's Drake May. And since Josh McDaniels has been back this year, first year under Vrabel, they seem to be doing quite well. Josh McDaniels. I wonder who or how many people look past Josh McDaniels as being, because I always talk about, is it Belichick or is it Brady? Is it Belichick or is it Brady? Who's responsible for all this success? But the one person that should be talked about is not talked about is Josh McDaniels and what he had to do with the effect of all those rings. Let that think for a minute. That's just my 2 cents on that. Going on to the next game, you got the Giants and the Eagles. Man, how did the Giants look last week against the Broncos? Wow. I don't think Sean Payton saw that 33-point fourth quarter ass whooping. I don't think he saw that coming up ahead of him. I think he saw it after he got ran over by a Mack truck in the rearview mirror. Welcome to the NFL. God, it's great. I never seen a 33-point quarter. That's the first time I've ever seen the NFL a 33-point quarter. Then it was put on by the damn Giants of all people. Dable, Dart. What a time to be alive. Dable's over there fighting for his job on the hot seat. Russell Wilson's pissed off because he got bitched, trying to tell Sierra how things aren't going to be as great because he's on the ride the pine. Jackson Dart's over there looking like the best thing since sliced bread. And Scatterboo! Scatterboo! What a time to be alive. Now, of course, Scatterboo got fined $15,000. Dable got fined $100,000. The team as a whole got fined $200,000 for this whole concussion protocol thing and stuff. So we're, I guess, more to be thought on that. But, and as much as I hate Philadelphia, and as much as I feel like that Philadelphia D hasn't looked exactly all impressive, because I know last week, and Big Glenn, good for you to show up. Big Glenn, I was just scatterboom in that 33-point victory and how they're going up against the Philadelphia Eagles tonight, or actually Sunday night. What do you think about that game, brother?
I tell you what, man, Skybo is helping me keep my head above water in that way in fantasy. So yeah.
Yeah, you can thank me for that later. I gave you a gift horse.
Yeah, I may have to send you a Christmas card if I end up winning this championship again. So
yeah, I feel like that's the very least you owe me, Glenn. You owe me.
I definitely would owe you. That's for sure, man.
I feel like the next time we link up, there should be a drink in hand.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna do like this, Glenn. I'm just gonna when we meet in the bar, I'm just gonna go like this to you, and then magically there's gonna be something that appears in that hand. I'm just saying.
It definitely won't be no Milwaukee's best, that's for sure. It'd be some Jim Beam or some Jack Daniels.
Man, you go to Milwaukee's best, and I'm gonna have to take out that other leg.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so let's talk about this tonight, man. You know, you got obviously. I know you're tracking. I know you saw it where Scatterboo is being fined and Dable's being fined for the concussion protocol on Jackson Dart. You know, what do you make of that? Is Jackson Dart even playing Sunday? Do we know if he's playing Sunday?
I had no clue. Honestly, I don't pay too much attention to the Giants, you know. So, but if he plays, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think it's Dable trying to protect his job or his job security for the time being. You know, trying to get his best guys to be on the field and be able to play.
Well, I'm looking at the depth chart, and I don't see anything. He's not carrying any designator, so I guess he must be good. So I guess he's good to play. He's not carrying any designator anymore, Scatterboo. So I guess life is good, and we will see him versus the Eagles. Now I gotta tell you, I hear what you're saying, Glenn, about not paying attention to the Giants. I haven't paid attention to the Giants for a long time, but I am paying attention to them now because then you are right about Dable saving his job. And number one, it did say it has at least extended his job for a little bit longer, right? But also, Russell Wilson wasn't going anywhere. We all know that. So him putting Jackson Dart in, not only is it saving, maybe at least extending his job, but it's also I'll tell you, the relationship between Scatterbo and Jackson Dart is incredible. And if you can get that energy and build on that energy when Malik Neighbors comes back next year, maybe throw in a couple more key pieces of the free agency or drafted, I wouldn't sleep on this Giants team for too long because I think that they're going to start making some moves.
Almost definitely. And my thing with that is especially the chemistry team, Dart and Scatterbo is reminds me of Bill and Ted from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures and shit, you know.
Oh, absolutely. No. I mean, that's exactly what it feels like. But I gotta tell you, look, I had the Eagles defense was it last week? I guess I had them. Yeah, last week I played Philly's defense, and I got like 2 points. I didn't do very well. Their defense didn't look too well. They are the best team in the East right now. I don't want to make what I'm saying that they're not the best team in the East, but that team is showing some signs of and Paxton's lack of leadership. Well, we're going to find out on Sunday because they get Brandon Graham back, right? So you're going to have him in the lineup. They're going to have Julian Carter in the lineup. So you're not going to be able to say that Carter wasn't there or they didn't have a veteran presence because now they got a veteran presence. But that Eagles defense has looked off kilter for the better part of this season. And so I'm curious to see where they go now. But what do you think about that?
I think the game on Sunday is going to be a close one.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't see a blowout in this one. I think it's going to be a tough fought game that the Eagles will win, but I don't see a blowout. Is that what you're kind of hinting at as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and I got to tell you, if by miracle the Giants were to pull that out and beat the Philadelphia Eagles, I would be ecstatic.
I would too.
Wow. You know, almost as ecstatic as I would be if Toronto beats the Dodgers in the World Series. And look, I'm all about America, but I despise the Dodgers. Everything about the Dodgers.
You know what's funny is that all of us in the ESPN group are all on the same page as far as who we want to win the World Series.
Yeah. And let's be honest, and Jonathan Mathis, I don't want you to think I'm picking on you, but I'm going to pick on you a little bit. None of us want to hear your jabberjaws on Facebook the day after the World Series win. Nobody wants to see that or hear that. About as much as I want to see Pags on there talking about how good the Eagles are, or even the Yankees or New England and Frankie. Those are the three people that I find the most annoying when they get win. Not really Pags. Pags, you're not really all that annoying. But I just don't like the Eagles. Well, I pretty much don't like anything Philadelphia. But that's not here. That's neither here nor there. So those are my reasons. I pray to God neither of those teams ever win. But as far as the Giants game goes, I definitely think Philadelphia is going to take it, barring some kind of craziness. Is that how you're seeing that as well, Glenn?
Yeah, Scalaboo would have to go crazy in that way for Giants to win, but it's possible.
Next game up for bids is going to be interesting because it's the Bills and Panthers. But Andy Dalton's getting the start in this one. And Bryce Young is going to sit with a high ankle sprain. I liked how they said he's going to sit this week, but we'll see how he does against the Packers or next week or whatever. And I'm thinking like, bro, if you got a high ankle sprain, are you really think you're going to see him next week either? No. Not with a high ankle. You might get that with a regular sprain, but you're not getting that with a high ankle. High ankle is at least 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, because that soreness, that shit lingers.
And it's amazing. I mean, I know they say that because they want to keep everybody at bay. They don't want to they don't want to give out any definitive answers. I get that political side of it, but I think anybody and everybody knows that dude's got a high ankle sprain that he's not playing.
Yeah, you know what? People tip them off the mafia too. You know, that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, he said, Joe says that the Giants beat the Eagles. Philly guy will be on the back of a milk carton missing. He'll probably be on a painted up milk carton, but I tell you, man, Philly's had a rough go of it. Not that I care.
Halloween,
almost like a rough go of it.
Halloween is next week though, so yeah, it would make sense.
I'm just saying, you never know, man. You just never know. But yeah, so on this game, Bills and Panthers, even though Dalton is getting the start and he'll probably get number one, the Bills are going to win this game. I cannot fathom a loss to the Panthers. I really don't. But I wonder what Dalton will mean for Legette's game or McMillan's game in terms of passing, because he is a little bit more of a better passer, I think, than Bryce Young. What do you think about? Will we see an upturn in Legette's production? Because let's be honest, up until now, Legette's kind of looked like a first round bust to me.
I think the offensive upspeed will be minimal. I noticed the last couple times that Andy Dalton has played a game in the NFL, coming off the bench for an injured player, it hasn't worked out too well. I mean, he's still a decent backup, but it's almost like ever since his days in Cincinnati, his arm has went away.
I mean, he has definitely not looked as crisp as he used to look. That's for damn sure. The one bright spot I see for Carolina is I do think the emergence of Rico Dowdle, or resurgence of Rico Dowdle in that Carolina uniform has played a lot better. He did have, I think, an off game last go around, but if you look at Rico Dowdle, he's actually played pretty well. And Rico Dowdle will get you close to 100 yards. Even with Dallas, he was playing really well with Dallas. I'm just surprised we got rid of him. I actually liked Rico Dowdle.
I bet you, man, if Carolina could play Dallas every week, Rico Dowdle would be a pretty much a Hall of Fame player at this point, you know?
Oh, that dude got up for that game, and then he backed it up. Not only did he get up for it, but he backed it up. And currently, right now, Chuba Hubbard has no designations. I'm assuming we'll see Chuba Hubbard. I wonder if they'll go by committee now and do a committee approach with Hubbard and Dowdle to take some of the wear and tear off their bodies and get more out of them. Do you think that they're going to do that, or do you think they're going to ride Chuba Hubbard?
I could see them doing a little bit of both, honestly. A little bit Chuba himself, just by himself, then by committee.
Yeah, because that's how I'm seeing. And if I was Carolina, that's probably how I would do it. I would do it by committee. That way, I know I got a fresh running back, every so many downs. And especially if I'm going to build my run game or build my team around the run game. Which, quite honestly, I think Carolina should build their team around the run game.
Oh, absolutely. Because they don't have the arm strength to be able to pass often, like Buffalo.
Yeah. I'm going to see them want to, let's be honest, Bryce Young's not exactly the tallest of people.
No.
I don't think you have, but having Drew Brees in the league kind of tells me you can still be it. But I think a lot of people are going to expect every short quarterback that enters the NFL to be a Drew Brees, and I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, you're not going to have a Drew Brees every time. I mean, that's pretty special at his height to do what he did, and I don't think Bryce Young has that level of eliteness that Drew Brees had in himself.
Yeah.
So I kind of see them. I see him being more of a 10 to 15 yard at best, maybe more at a 5 to 10 range when throwing those balls. Which I think if you have a good strong run game, that kind of plays into effect, right?
Yes. He reminds me a lot of Kyler Murray in that way. A game manager, nothing too deep as far as passing. If they have great running backs, they could salvage a good career out of it.
Yeah, man, I see a lot of dump passes to the tight end, or I see a lot of passes to the flat, or even passes at the 5 yard or 5 yards in front of the line of scrimmage. In the middle of a running back.
Slants.
Yeah,
slants.
Bro, those slants and those little curl outs or whatever from the tight end. That can be it'll take a little while to get down the field, but at the same time, you're killing clock and you're keeping their offense off the field. So I think it almost serves two purposes: to have more of a dink and dunk and have a strong run game, than have that deep vertical threat game where I think then you're opening yourself up to interceptions and sacks and everything else.
Oh, yeah. Just ask Joe Burrow about that kind of stuff from last year, man.
Oh, man. Burrow's had such a rough go of it. I wonder if he's such a loyal guy, because I'm surprised he's staying with Cincinnati. If I was him, and I knew I had what I have in me, I would test the free agent market. I would test the free agent market because I feel like they're not putting their money in the right spots on that team.
They're not smart. They're definitely not smart about it, but they haven't. Cincinnati hasn't always been the smartest team in that way as far as the front office. Now Ravens, yeah, but that's a whole nother issue. They have different issues right now.
Yeah, one of the biggest reasons would be keeping Lamar Jackson on the field and healthy, and that's a hard thing to do. I think Lamar really has to take a deeper look at himself and be like, man, I can't run my whole career like this. I've got to start passing the ball more to preserve my body. I don't know if I've always said running quarterbacks who live on the run more than they do on the pass don't last long in the league. They really don't last very long.
RG3 is a good example of that.
Yeah.
Mike Shanahan, pretty much killed his career. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but it's having them go out there with a bad leg and stuff, man, when they play Seattle.
Yeah, if I'm looking for a quarterback, I'm looking at a lot more along the lines of a Josh Allen or a Justin Herbert, where more specifically towards Josh Allen, really, where you kind of have a run game if you have to have a run game to get out of a situation. but be more of a passer. That's the quarterback I'm looking for. And I think Josh Allen is probably the prototypical guy that I would want as a quarterback. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
absolutely. And I can tell his stats have kind of regressed so far this year, but I think it's because he doesn't have Stephon Diggs anymore, So
Right.
when you lose a top weapon like that, yeah, your stats gonna fall back a little bit.
Yeah, because I don't know if I want a pure pocket passer like an Aaron Rodgers or whatever, or even a Peyton Manning, where you're just primarily a pure pocket pass. I would like more, like I said, the Josh Allen style of quarterback, or even the Patrick Mahomes style of quarterback, where you use your legs to extend plays when the play needs to be extended, but you're not using your legs as a sole means as if you're like RB2 in that on that team, or RB1, and it should be RB1 is now is RB2. Yeah, I don't think that should be your primary focus. I need a guy that can pass the ball, has a good strong arm, but has good legs that can extend plays. That's
Yeah,
the type of quarterback I'm looking for.
yeah, because if you ever notice those pure pocket passers, man, unless you're like Peyton Manning, man, that arm strength is gonna fall off eventually.
Yeah. Oh, God forbid you go to a team that's usually, if you're getting drafted first overall, that means you're going to a really bad team with no offensive line, which means you're going to get your butt killed until they develop an offensive line.
Yeah, like Andrew Luck, before we got the guy or Big Q Nelson from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Before we got Big Q, man, and we had no line, and his ass got lit up. That's one of the reasons why he retired so early.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. So the next game comes that I want to talk about is going to be more aligned with what we're talking about. Since we're already talking about it, I'm just going to go in and put this game out there, and we'll talk a little bit about it. So far, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we both have the Bills, and we both have the Eagles, and we both have the Patriots.
Yeah, I got the Bills by at least 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
It's going to be like a 14 to 21 point game.
Okay. So then that takes us to the Bears-Ravens game, which should be a good game. We know the Ravens have taken a step back on defense. They don't have that same style of defense that they used to have in years past. But they still have a good quarterback in Lamar Jackson, and I'm not sure if Lamar is playing. I was looking at the injury report right now to see if he was listed on there. And I think they're supposed to be getting him possibly back this game. Have you heard anything other than that they would not have Lamar Jack? I think from my understanding, he's coming back.
Yeah, I think he's going to be good to go Sunday from what I've seen.
Yeah, I'm pulling up their depth chart right now to see. They still have it listed as questionable on their depth chart, but I mean, they always kind of carry that until Sunday, and then they'll usually take it off. It says, was that full practice participant on Friday, according to Coach John Harbaugh. So that tells me if you're a full participant in Friday's practice,
you're actually starting.
You're getting the go ahead. Yeah, you're going to get that started, especially because let's be honest. I've said this. I don't think that the Ravens are out of it. They're 1-5 in a division where Pittsburgh is probably sitting at around 4-3, 5-2, somewhere around there. But I think there's enough of a closeness and gap, and there's enough bad teams on the AFC side of life they could, at the very least, they could get a wild card spot out of it. But they're going to have to win out. Like, they're going to have to really make a strong push to get there.
Is this game in Chicago?
It's in Baltimore.
I can see, honestly, as crazy as this week is with some of these point spreads and some of the matchups, I could really see Chicago win this, and our guy Mike Hughes is going to be seeing bear down Chicago Bears.
Yeah, right now it looks like D-Hop is also questionable, but everybody else is good. So the only two people on that team is questionable is Lamar, which we know Lamar is going to play, and then D-Hop. But I don't know. I mean, as long as Zay Flowers and Bateman are good, I don't know if D-Hop is really going to be that much of a factor for them.
I think it's going to take a few weeks for Lamar to get it back into game shape. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a slow start. But, with the Bears being, who we thought they were and who we know they are, it's probably not a bad idea for him to be starting this week.
I see a heavy dose of Travis Henry in this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I see a huge dose of Henry in there.
Yeah, Derrick Henry, yes,
Or
absolutely.
Derrick Henry. I probably see Travis Henry.
But
But
that's
Derrick Henry, I definitely expect to see a bunch of him. But I think they're going to do that more so, like what you just said about Lamar Jackson. I think they're going to give him a break and try to. I mean, he's going to pass the ball, but I think they're going to try to do a more run heavy attack. Would you
yes,
agree with that as well?
absolutely. As long as Derrick's not fumbling the ball at the goal line and shit.
Yeah, I think that was a one-off for him. I think because ever since he did that, I noticed he's been carrying the ball up higher now or closer to that armpit area. So I think he kind of took that under advisement. I don't think that's going to be an issue for Derek.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm actually going to say because it's in Baltimore, because Lamar's back, and I don't really truly 100% believe in Chicago 100% yet. I'm going to roll. I'm going to roll with the Ravens on this one. But I know you said you're going with Chicago.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's games this weekend, almost the same weekend that we had college football, where unfortunately, Florida beat Texas that weekend and stuff. So
Man, I'm telling you, that was a rough day for me.
all I know was
That was a rough damn day. And that's what I was talking about in the college games. I only really talked about two games. I talked about I feel like the LSU game is going to be a big game.
LSU Vandy, yeah.
Yeah, and I think is A&M? And I just talked about who A&M was playing, but my brain goes left.
Alabama?
No, they don't have Alabama. I want to say this LSU. I think it's who A&M is playing.
I think LSU played Vandy though, don't they?
Yeah, I might have my games, and I just talked about this, but man, my brain goes left on me. Okay, so Ole Miss is Oklahoma. That's going to be a big game. And then LSU is playing A&M.
Oh, okay. I have backwards.
Yeah. And Vanderbilt is actually playing Missouri. But those are going to be the three big games. And, I mean, if A&M wants to be the big dog on campus, they got to beat out this LSU team.
Yeah, LSU can be beat. They're not as good as everybody thinks they are.
No, I don't. I mean, I definitely think they're a 25 team. I just don't know where you'd put them at, truthfully. I think they're probably more like around 15 or 16 or 13, somewhere in that neighborhood for LSU. I mean, they got a good squad. Their defense is a little suspect, but I feel like they have a good squad.
Yeah. I have about on the back end like 18, 19.
So we're not too far apart from each other then on that aspect of it. I think Texas plays Mississippi State, which ironically, the last time Texas played Mississippi State, Archie Manning was quarterbacking this game, and he got the win. So I expect Archie to get the win on this one and keep that rolling. Which they're going to have to. I mean, they got to win out. Texas has to win out. Texas doesn't win out, we don't have a shot in hell to make the playoffs. So every game has to be won, and it's going to be a long road for Texas. I don't think they can do it personally. I got to be honest with you. My faith level in Texas right now is low. It is low.
You guys have what? 2 losses or 3 losses?
No, we got 2 losses. The thing about it is everybody wants to put all this on Archie, and it's not all on Archie. I mean, a small part of it is on Archie, but if you look at the team as a whole, if you look at our defense, if you look at our wide receivers, if you look at our play calling, we've been pretty substandard on a lot of different areas, and they didn't have Archie Manning's name attached to it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're allowing Florida to put 30 points on you, then yeah, I mean, it's not all on Archie. It's defense as well.
Yeah, so there's definitely some things that they got to do over there in Texas. I just don't think this is our year, but I'd like for it to be our year next year. I just don't know if Sarkisian is the right guy to lead this team. Sometimes I feel good about him, and then some days I'm like, man, what is he thinking? What is he calling right now? I don't get it. But
don't you wish you had Kurt Signetti though, man? Because that dude,
I'd take anybody at this point.
Yeah.
Damn near anybody. I would love to have a Lane Kiffin. I'd even take Lane Kiffin.
That would be a bad deal right there either, man. Or Jimmy Johnson, but that he's pretty much said he was retired 25 years
Oh,
ago.
Jimmy's never going to coach another game. That dude
Yeah.
is he's enjoying that life. Let's talk real quick about the Texans and 49ers. Specifically, this is who I took as my suicide pick. I took the 49ers over the Texans. This was my suicide pick. I'm not sure if Brock is getting. I mean, not Brock. If Mac Jones is getting the start, or if it's going to be Brock Purdy. They seem to think on the afternoon, not the afternoon, but we watched it coast to coast today. They were thinking that they might try to. They think they should trade Purdy, and that Mac Jones should continue getting the start and ride the hot hand. I tend to agree with that. I feel like if you got a hot hand and he's showing you that he's a hot hand, keep riding that hot hand. And let's be honest, Purdy, there would be a lot of trade interest for him. I mean, there's a lot of teams out there. Saints are the team that come to my mind. Jets are a team that come to my mind, and there's a few others that I think would love to have would love to take on a Brock Purdy and develop that direction. Do you think that would be a good idea to just keep riding Mac Jones and then trade Brock Purdy for picks?
Yes, especially as close to the deadline as we are. I think the deadline was November 4th.
Yeah.
I'd say they should definitely be entertaining some offers if they can get something, a decent return. Because I'm sure there's some positions on the 49ers squad that could use some improvement.
I wonder what he would command as for somebody's trade. I wonder how many draft picks and what caliber of draft picks that he would command. Do you think I think at least he gets at least one first out of it. I think he's proven that he can be worth a first rounder.
Probably
I don't know how many he put on there, but definitely at least one first rounder, maybe a second or a third to accompany it.
I'll probably go for a first and a starting player, like if they need someone on defense, like a linebacker or something like that.
That would even be, I could see that for sure.
Yeah, with Purdy, I think you could probably get a starting player out of it too.
So, I think the 49ers are definitely going to have some things on their plate to consider before that deadline. And I would not be surprised if Purdy or Mac Jones was on that trade deadline. I think more likely it would be Purdy, though, because obviously you're going to ride that hot hand, I think. But again, you look at this Texans team, and this is a team that has just fallen all the way down. And I don't even know where you put the blame. Do you put the blame on Stroud, or do you put the blame on the offensive coordinator? Because I got to tell you, when Bobby Slovic was there, this Texas team had a different look, had a different feel about it. Now that Bobby is gone, this team has not had that same swag or feel to it.
I'm gonna be a little bit funny with you here. I think if I'm blaming anybody, I'm probably blaming Bud Adams for moving the Oilers to Tennessee.
Oh man, that's a whole other conversation. I could do a whole show about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do a literal show just on Bud Adams and how sad of a human he is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean? That wasn't right.
I mean, at least Art moved the team to Baltimore, took on the name of the Ravens, but he let Cleveland keep the color schemes and the logos and the name and all of that, and that's the way I think it should be. You should, if a team, I mean, let's be honest, how many oil derricks do you see out in the state of Tennessee? I lived in Tennessee. I didn't see many.
Yeah.
I didn't see many.
You see more Tennessee volunteer orange than you do anything else in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Titan stuff, man, you don't see it because they're ass. Just like, unfortunately right now, Texas are looking quite ass themselves,
Now, U of H did try to revive the Oiler blue colors and their uniforms, and then the Titans said, nope, can't do it. That's our stuff. And then the NFL backed them up. And ultimately, I guess they put a kibosh, even though every now and then I'll see them still wear it. So I don't know if they worked out an agreement that they can still wear it on certain days. I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, though, that color scheme, the Oilers, all of that should have never left Houston. That was a straight Houston product. Everything was about Houston. I don't know why. And then if I was in Tennessee, I would say to them, hey, keep that Houston stuff there. We don't want that baggage over here because it's not our baggage, it's your baggage. Let's just start afresh as the Titans, and that's really what Bud Adams should have done.
Absolutely.
He's a greedy
Uh,
little son of a bitch.
they kept the team and even made a secondary logo out of it too, using
Yeah.
the same colors, which is shitty. Yeah. Robert Ursay took the Colts from Baltimore, but he didn't make like a secondary logo, and and kept them both with making money off the new one.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I agree, Joe. Joe, I love the old Oiler uniforms as well. You just don't see him, you don't see that love you blue like that.
No.
Man, I do miss all the Oiler Bengal rivalry that used to be. I mean, that was a big rivalry back in the day. I can't tell me Bengals and Oilers playoffs, I've watched a lot,
Oh, absolutely. Wasn't the father of the Ryan twins
Buddy Ryan.
Wasn't he with Houston when he got in the fight with the goo on the sideline as the
I
assistant
think
coach?
he was.
Because I think he was with Houston when that happened. That's funny as hell.
I'm pretty sure he was. I know, that team started out with Bum Phillips. That was their original coach. And then when he went to New Orleans, he took Earl Campbell with him to New Orleans. And I think both of them did like 1 year in New Orleans, and I think that was done. I think they were out of there by that point. But again, both of them were old and at the end of their careers too. So I mean, but Bum Phillips is a good coach. I love Bum Phillips. Wade Phillips' son, obviously, that he had a lot of good success in the NFL too, along what we did with Dallas, what he did with Buffalo, and so forth. I mean, Wade Phillips has had a lot of good coaching experience along with his dad.
Hey, he coached the 2015 Denver defensive coordinators in that way. So he was under Gary Kubiak when they won Peyton's last year.
Yeah, I like to see them wear the older uniforms too, Joe. But guess what? Bud Adams owns that, so
yeah,
we'll have to go to the Titans if we could actually honor our own damn city. But it is what it is. I just feel bad. I mean, I feel bad. I mean, like I said, I've always been a Cowboys fan my whole life, but my dad and family and all them, they loved it, man. I used to see the Houston Oilers trucks that would be painted up just like the Oilers uniform. They drive up down the street. You see them all over the place, and now you don't see that anymore. But anywho, I do have the Niners beating the Texans. I think they're going to beat them pretty good too.
Yeah.
The Texas team's been struggling, Bubba, and now that Nico's down, as well as Tank Dell, and it looks like they're getting Joe Mixon back anytime soon. They're going to be relying heavily on those second and third tier wide receivers that they have. I think Dalton Schultz will probably have a crazy day, to be honest with you. If Dalton Schultz is on your fantasy team, this is probably the game I would put Dalton in, because you got to imagine he's going to get a lot of passes in this.
I have one of the secondary receivers, so I need to go look. I think I might have Dalton Schultz or one of the other guys that is not normally rostered on teams, so I need to go check that out.
Man, I'm telling you, because that man's going to be looking for familiar faces to throw to, and Dalton Schultz has always been a familiar face. I think he's going to tap more into that now that Nico's not going to be there this month.
Oh, absolutely.
So I got San Fran, you got San Fran. Next game is Buccaneers and the Saints.
I wonder who's going to win this game.
Oh man, if there was ever a game that maybe the Saints could tack on one more win throughout the season, this might be it. Only because of the fact that there's no Mike Evans, there's no Godwin, there's no Bucky Irving. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people on that offense out, but I do think the Bucs have just enough to squeeze one out against the Saints. And that game is in New Orleans, by the way.
They gonna need all the freaking Saints fans in the building if they can get them to help them try to win that game,
Oh yeah, that's right, Joe. We do have Rockets versus Detroit. And again, Rockets played a good game, Joe, against OKC. I think we lost it by 1 point. So they played a highly competitive game against them. I do think we should be able to beat Detroit tonight. I think we still have, even though we don't have a Van Fleet, I still think our team is good enough. Obviously, it's going to be in Detroit, but I think the Rockets will get that win tonight. And then more to see, right? But yeah,
Pacers did pretty well last night despite some of the injuries.
What's your record at right now? Y'all 1-1, 0-1,
0-1.
You're 1-1. Okay.
No, 0-1.
Oh, you're 0-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like his first game for us. So
yeah, it's going to take a little bit to see what this team is now that Halliburton's not going to be there this year. So I'm curious to see, how this team rebounds from it, and what does their success look like going forward, just for this year with not having Halliburton there.
Yeah, so we lost Andrew Nimhard last night with the shoulder injury. They don't know how long he's going to be out. It didn't sound too good. So the Pacers are picking off or picking up where the Fever left off with all the injuries.
Yeah, because now that you don't have Miles, so there's no Miles Turner anymore. You don't have Nimrod, and you don't have Halliburton. That's a tough pill. I mean, that's going to put a lot on the weight of Mathurin and company. I don't think they have enough, at least not until Nimhard gets back. So
yeah.
Pacers it's going to be a little bit of, you guys are going to be on a little bit of a journey, man. Unfortunately, that's a downside to injuries, especially to your big time players, is you put them all in because you have to go all in. But sometimes when you go all in, you go all out. And this year, you're all out this year. Let's be honest. I mean, maybe if you get a 500 season or better, that's great. But I think without Halliburton there, without having Miles Turner there, that's a lot to put on the team.
Yeah. If we can get Nimhard back, I think we can get to 47 wins.
Yeah. More to follow on that one. So I think we both have the Buccaneers taking it tonight. And then the next one, this is going to be, it's got the Broncos and the Cowboys, games in Denver. Yeah.
We ain't won there since I was 5 years old. I saw the thing that Frankie.
Yeah, dude, we have sucked against Denver. But we do have Javonte Williams going against his old team. Yeah, I wonder how that's going to look.
Yeah, because I've seen how the Colts played Denver, and they're a team that looks like they're still trying to figure shit out. So it's one of those kinds of things where I could really go Dallas on this game, even though I don't really want to, because I know how good that Denver can be. But I think I want to take Dallas on this one.
Yeah. This is one of those games, right? I'm sorry. Dak Prescott, for as much hate as he gets around the league, and again, his postseason performances have not exactly helped his cause. His injuries have not exactly helped his cause. So I understand why they feel the way they feel. But when you look at him, the numbers he's putting up currently, right now, it's very hard not to put him in the MVP conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
I mean, so, now you can say whatever you want to about Dak in postseason, and more than likely, I'm going to agree with everything you say about Dak in the postseason. But when you look at Dak in the regular season, this is not the first time. Dak in the if Dak would play the postseason like he does the regular season, we'd have as many rings as probably Tom Brady does.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm being sarcastic, but you know what I'm saying about that.
Yeah, he would have at least one or two already.
I just feel like Dak, that's the one thing that Dak doesn't have, and that's postseason success. And I don't know, you could blame a lot of different things. You could blame penalties during the San Francisco game where we had like 10 penalties and they could never overcome it. I'll give you all that. But this year, what is the knock on us this year? The knock on us this year is we don't have a pass rush. The knock on us this year is that our secondary gives up the big plays, and they're all right. They're all right. And I'm wondering, and I'm actually praying that Jerry can convince the Raiders to take them 2 picks we got in the Micah Parsons trade, along with that $30 million cap space that we have, and let's go get him Max Crosby, who's 28 years old at the prime of his life, and let's see what we can do with this.
Absolutely. I'm all for that. You know me.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're getting a guy in his prime that can help you out in that linebacker spot, that can put the pass rush where the pass rush needs to be. We all know he's good at that. Then you got Clark, we got from the Parsons trade, who's a great run stopper. The only thing, and my thought is maybe if Max Crosby could put enough pressure on the quarterback that it will not allow his throws to be as good, and maybe that then will help out the secondary.
Yep, and see Max Crosby being on the Raiders, he's not going to see any success because that team fucking sucks.
No, he really won't. I mean, if he does, it's at least 2 years down the road, 2 to 3 years down the road. But they still got to add some more pieces to that team. They are not all the way there.
Oh, absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying? There's still quite a few pieces that team needs. And if they can take these 2 first-rounders and apply it to that defensive needs and give us Max Crosby, I think it's a win-win for both organizations. So I implore Jerry to extend that offer, and I implore the Raiders to accept it if and when he extends it, because I think we're both going to benefit from that. And I guarantee you put the Max Crosby on the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't think I'm being delusional. I think we can actually compete for the NFC East.
Yes, I think we get too, and because we know how great of a player that he is on defense.
Yeah,
it would shore up the defense and know that instead of losing to Carolina, we probably beat Carolina by about at least 10 points.
I mean, because every team needs that veteran leadership. Every team needs that spark of energy. And I think that's what Max Crosby brings. I think
1,000.
He brings that energy. I think he has that dog-like mentality. I think he brings that energy, and he definitely is a leader on that team. I mean, that's 2 of the biggest things we're missing right now that we could rectify with one trade.
Yeah, because we have Mike be the defense captain, right? So yeah,
he was. I'm not even sure who gets. And also on top of that, we should be getting Overshawn back soon. So if he can get Overshawn back, and then add a guy like Max Crosby in there, I mean, we could seriously be cooking with some Crisco.
Yeah, cooking with some Crisco. Yeah, that sounds very good.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say we're Super Bowl bound, but what I am saying is a guy like Max Crosby, you add him to the mix, that I think that does make us playoff contenders, whether it be wild card or division. I think that makes us contenders. And then Dak is going to have to do what he should have been doing all along. He's going to have to actually show up in the playoffs. Now, I will tell you this, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but I have. Ever since we got in Schottenheimer, I don't give him too much credit, but I will give him this. Because we brought in Schottenheimer, our penalties have gone down. Our discipline has gotten better.
Yes, and that game against Washington last week, man, holy shit.
Yeah, do I believe Diggs is really hurt, or is Jerry Jones saving him for a trade? I think Trayvon Diggs is just dumb enough to actually fall down at his house and get a concussion. Yeah, I believe that. I actually kind of believe that. I do think he's stupid enough that would do that. But I don't think Jerry's going to save anybody. I think Jerry's going to play you no matter what. I don't know if I've ever seen Jerry save a player just for a trade. Not to say it couldn't happen. I've been wrong before, but I don't think I'm wrong on this one. I think he probably really did hurt himself at home.
Yeah. You ever hear some of Jerry Jones's comments on local Cowboys or local Dallas radio sports stuff every now and then when he goes on?
Man, I try not to listen to that, man.
That shit is like a comedy reel.
Look, you can choose your team. You just can't choose your owner.
Yeah, I wish you could.
This is one of them situations. I didn't choose Jerry. I chose the Cowboys. Jerry came after the fact.
Yes, absolutely.
And I've just been in the purgatory ever since. And so is Big Glenn. Even though Big Glenn sometimes roots for the Colts, which I still think is horseshit, but whatever.
You got the horse part of it, right? So
No, but you know what? I am gonna go Dallas on this one. I do feel like Dallas is ready to do something. Are you? And you said you're rolling with Dallas as well?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're both rolling with Dallas on this one. We got 3 games left to talk about. One is the Titans and Colts. I don't think there's really much you can say about this game.
Shit.
I think we're both going for the Colts. I think this really kind of comes down to my questions for this isn't really so much about this game as it is about the individual teams themselves. I'll give you the first question, Glenn. My first question with the Colts is they scarily are starting to make themselves look like the number 1 team in football.
Hey, this team could be Super Bowl bound. You're talking about Cowboys, earlier and shit, but this team could be Super Bowl bound. The way you look right now, maybe it took Giants getting rid of Daniel Jones out the hell out of New York for Daniel Jones to be modern day Peyton Manning,
Yeah. I mean, again, he doesn't have to go in there and be the best thing since sliced bread. He just has to go in there, get the guys to rock, and don't turn it over.
Absolutely.
As long as you're doing that, that's all that's required of you, really, right?
2003 Brad Johnson, Buccaneers Super Bowl champions. It's a lot like that kind of a quarterback. Brad Johnson, Daniel Jones.
By the way, Joe, that 103, even though I like to see the enthusiasm, Brad made those same kind of predictions, Joe. We might not want to do that ever again because that's the crap that Brad does, and we're not Brad on this show. So let's not do Brad-like things.
Did he just say the Colts going to win 103?
Yeah.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. I could see it being like 52-10.
Yeah, Joe knows. When I talk about Brad, though, Joe knows what I'm talking about. For those of you that don't, Piglet, this is the dude that every time he made a prediction on the game, he would just have some stupid number. Like if it had to do with the Cowboys and the Phillies, or the Cowboys and the Eagles, he would say Eagles going to beat the Cowboys 59-6.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, I know you're joking. Joe, I know you're joking, but hey, that's like that Brad-like reference. I still got some bad. Watch me, man. That's my life, man. But anyway, I'm not gonna bash Brad.
I can see his game being like a 52-10 or 52-14, something along those lines. And I'm being freaking generous.
Is it gonna be that bad?
I think so, honestly. The Titans are ass. Titans are worse than the Texans. The Colts have already seen them once this year in Tennessee, and I think there was more Colts fans in Tennessee than there was Titans fans at Tennessee for that game. I mean, yeah. I can see why the Titans have held off on rebuilding that stadium or getting it done because they're not getting the revenue from the Tennessee market.
Hell no! And furthermore, they don't even have. I mean, they're still using an interim coach. They have not even defined a coach yet, have they?
Shit, they ought to shut the team down at this point. They're really that bad.
I think if I'm the Titans, which by the way, I'm glad this is happening to the Titans. This is the effect you get from screwing over the city of Houston as bad as you did. So you're getting the city of Houston curse on you, Bud Adams. But that's neither here nor there. No, with this Titans team, I think they got to fire the GM. I think you let go of the GM. I think you bring in a fresh GM. You bring in and let him pick the coach. And along with the. I would say I would have the GM and the quarterback interview the coach, or at least I would have the quarterback say, "Hey, look, this is what I'm looking for in my head coach," and then let the GM bring in his version of what he wants. Because I think Cam Ward, he came on publicly said the team is not letting me play the style of football for which I know I am meant to play, and I basically could run the league if they would let me play the way I want to play. That's what he said. I could run the league. So if that's the case, and I'm the GM, I'll be like, all right, smarty pants, let's go figure out what kind of coach you need, what kind of system you're looking for. But if it don't come to fruition, you're out of here.
Yep.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, let him put his money where his mouth is.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
he ought to go. They ought to go hire Marv Levy's old ass. that probably would be better than what they have now, honestly.
Man, I don't know if Flores is being blackballed from a head coaching spot or if people really think that he doesn't deserve it. But I would think Flores would be a better head coach in Tennessee than what they had in Callahan.
Yeah,
I think Flores is a good coach. He had a bad situation down there in Miami. That was just a bad situation all the way around.
Oh, absolutely.
from the way that organization did things, the whole nine yards. But I think he deserves one more shot at being a head coach in the league. And why not give a team like Tennessee, who else would want to take that job?
I know. I don't think I would.
I mean, if you know what I'm saying, if you're in the NFL world or if you're a coordinator out there, would you want to take a job in Tennessee? I mean, I guess it depends on how bad you're looking for a pay jump, but I wouldn't take that job.
If I'm taking a job in Tennessee, it's going to be over in Knoxville. It ain't going to be in Nashville.
Or they're going to have, or I'm going to have a list of things that I'm looking for, and owners like they say you interview them as much as they interview you. I would be interviewing the hell out of them, and I would be saying, look, if you want me to be coach of this Titans team, this is what I need from you, and I would give a long list of demands of everything that I want. You know what I'm saying? Because that team has been off the rails for so long.
Wasn't it Frankie that was telling us that last year when they got rid of their GM or whatever that this was such a stupid move? Frankie right now is so right on that. It was a stupid move getting rid of their GM.
Joe says, Brad, hey, I wouldn't worry about that, Joe, man. That dude got enough of his own issues. That sounds like more of a Brad issue. So I wouldn't put no stock in anything that he says. I think you're okay. I wouldn't let that man affect you one bit, Bubba. But yeah. So if I'm the head coach and you want me to go be a Titans guy, you're gonna have to make some. Like I would have a laundry list of things I would need to have happen. One would be that ownership would stay out of my decision makings, and number two, I get carte blanche and of all drafting things that I need to have. And then number three, yeah, you're going to give me a 5-year window. This contract is going to be a 5-year window that you're going to maintain because it's going to take me a few years to turn this culture around and get everything back to where it needs to be, right?
The fifth, like Titans are like the 5th best team in Nashville right now. They're at the very freaking bottom. I'd have Vandy at 1. Vandy basketball too, then like whoever else, like Nashville Predators 3. Throw in the D2 college football team at 4. Then have Titans at the very bottom, because it's really that bad.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that
I would even say you could probably throw in a mediocre 3A high school football team in Tennessee.
I was going to go there, but I think
they have a good shot at it. I think they have if nothing else, they're going to have consistency all across the board. They're not have to worry about the inconsistencies at that front. But that's a whole nother debate for a whole nother show for another time. Tennessee is just, they're I mean, the only team worse than them is the damn Jets.
About
that. The only team that you're better than is the Jets. And then Miami, I mean, I don't know where you put Miami. I mean, that's a big stink sandwich if you ask me. All three of those damn teams they're bad all the way around, right?
Yeah. Miami's got a whole lot of issues. And what's crazy, I think it started with Tyreek Hill stuff.
Tyreek was talking about contemplating, his future in these. I want to tell you, man, I don't think he's going to have to contemplate. I think his body is just going to tell him, dude, you don't have it no more.
Yeah, that speed is gone.
Even if you thought you had it, you don't have it. Because the minute you try to be the cheetah, you're going to want to be in the sloth.
Yeah.
Dude, you can't make look. I saw the way that there's too much repairs that you got to do to that leg for it to even be worth a damn.
Yeah.
NFL playoff time or NFL regular season time.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be this year. And see, like it's almost like the Alex Smith injury in a way, but I know they're different injuries.
Yeah.
But
the severity, I think, is what you're talking about.
Yeah, the severity of it and stuff. I don't see him being back in the league. I think he's probably done.
I mean, I'm surprised even to see Nick Chubb in a starting uniform right now. I mean, as bad as his situation was.
Yeah, what's up with us getting number 1 running backs, and they all ended up with injuries? Like you had Nick Chubb. I mean, did I have Bucky Irvin? He's been out for a while, but it's always the running backs.
And Mixon, I don't know when Mixon is going to come back to Houston and play for them, because I really think that's the one thing. That's the thing they're missing too, is they don't have a real running game, right? Nick Chubb, he's a goal line, maybe short yardage type of guy, but they don't have that workhorse, with what Mixon is, and I think that's one thing that they're missing from that run game is that workhorse. They got left and right around the tackles, things like that. So they got some issues over there in Houston. We'll see how that continues to go or how it continues to unfold. Next game is Packers and Steelers. Now, Aaron Rodgers said this is not a revenge game. There's no sentiment. For Aaron Rodgers, he said he has made peace with everything, and it's just another football game. What do you think?
Steelers probably gonna kick the Packers' ass. Yeah, I see this one not being too good for Pittsburgh Green Bay. Pittsburgh, it's gonna be like 35-17.
Yeah, I mean, when your tight end is your leading receiver, I don't know. That's not and there have been other teams that have had that type of situation, right? Travis Kelce and the Chiefs, obviously Gronk, Brady, right? Whatever. But I don't know if he should ever be your leading receiver. Was Gronk always the leading receiver? Or, I mean, I still think you need some sort of help. And I think Gronk probably was, but Gronk
had help. Yeah, Julian Edelman and those guys.
Oh yeah, I mean he still had competent wide receivers to where they couldn't just zone in on the tight end specifically. And I think that's kind of what's hurt Kelce a little bit is not having Rashee Rice there. Obviously he has it now, so it's alleviated it a little bit. But you can see not having a true number one wide receiver really hurt the Kansas City Chiefs big time.
Oh, absolutely.
But in this game, I mean, everybody should be there as far as I know. They don't. What's that guy, Watson? I don't know. Is he hurt? I have not looked at their depth chart.
I haven't even checked on that one, honestly.
So right now you got Romeo Doubs, which is their wide receiver one. Then you got Wicks. Or excuse me, they got Gold. They actually have Matthew Golden, the wide receiver one, but I think that really kind of belongs more to Romeo Doubs in terms of the wide receiver group. But again, Kraft, he's been getting all of the love, and Watson is actually out. I guess he must. This tells you how often I pay attention to the So he's got a knee. He did practice in limited fashion on Thursday. His knee is not complete. But no, I think if anything, it won't be this game, but it might be the game after that you would get Watson back. But I don't know, man. Who are you going with on this? The game looks like it's in Pittsburgh. Are you going to go Steelers or are you going?
Pittsburgh. I think they're going to win like 35-17.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going Pittsburgh in this too as well. I feel like they know that they need to keep this divisional lead. And they know that Lamar Jackson is back, so I feel like that gives them a little bit more intensity to make sure they're winning these games. Green Bay, man, they start off. I mean, they're 4-1-1. They're not having a bad year, but I think Green Bay, after week one, I know a lot of people were hyping up Detroit, or it's not hyping up Detroit. They were hyping up Green Bay until weeks 2, 3, 4 and stuff played out, and then they weren't so high on Green Bay anymore. Remember that? Remember everybody was high on Green Bay?
Yeah, especially Detroit getting things figured out.
Man, Detroit's playing beautifully right now. I mean, everybody's clicking on also Jahmyr Gibbs. The way he's running the ball is just stupid right now. And Goff and company, what they're doing, defense, everything on the defensive side for Detroit is going well. That's a team that's put it together at the right time. And right now, I mean, that's the other team. I mean, if I think about who's your top five? By the way, that was the last. Or we got one more game, and then that'll be it. But who are your top 5 teams right now, and on both sides of the league, AFL and NFL, or AFC, NFC? How do you see that playing out? Like, who would be your top 5 teams right
now? Detroit, Philly, Rams. Dallas. That's hard. And Tampa Bay.
Wow, you didn't have the Colts Colts in your top 5?
Which team?
I thought you might have the Colts in that top 5.
Oh, I was going NFC. Colts.
No. I mean, just across.
Okay.
Between both.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It would be Colts would be like number 1. 2 would be who did I give first the first time?
So I can't remember all the top 5. I know you had.
Oh yeah, Detroit too. Detroit too.
Tampa in there. You had Detroit in there. You had Philly in there.
Yeah, Colts, Detroit. Let's see. It's so hard because there's so many good teams right now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Rams. I'll probably put Rams in there.
Yeah, Rams, Philly. Kansas will probably be in there as well. They're starting to get
the Broncos. Do you put the Broncos outside your top 5?
Because they've not been consistent enough.
Yeah, that's where I got Broncos. Right now, I got the Broncos at 6, but I got them peeking in, just waiting to see who drops out so they can make that move in.
Yeah,
it's kind of how I feel about the Broncos right now. I feel like they're one of those teams that's kind of on the cusp, but not completely crossed over into Successville. They're kind of on that cusp,
They're right there.
I think it's the Giants game that really kind of reminded me that they're not quite there yet. They still got some work to do.
San Francisco is up there right around Denver as well because despite their injury issues, they've been able to tread the ball pretty damn good.
Yeah. What do you think about that? I want to go back one, and then we'll get to this last game. I better have one more question about the Denver Giants game and that 33-point debacle of a fourth. I've seen a lot of craziness since I've been alive in the NFL from the 70s to now. I mean, I've watched a lot of football. And the Oilers had a few meltdowns of 30 points or better going into the third quarter. We know that in the Super Bowl, they were up 28-3 only to give up the game. But I ain't never seen anybody score 33 damn points in one quarter. I got to tell you, Glenn, my spidey senses are tingling off the fucking charts, and I feel like there was some gambling or something in there that produced this 33-point craziness.
Let's ask them. We should definitely ask the Mafia about that shit, So
I'm just saying. If it looks and smells like some fishiness, there's probably some fishiness in there.
Because you think about it when hold on just a second here. The numbers synced up with Demaryius Thomas with him going in the arena honor up there in Denver. So there's some shit that happened. It makes you wonder.
I mean, you're in the third quarter, still status quo to the other 2 quarters, and all of a sudden, what happens? The light bulb just automatically goes on, and everything goes perfectly, and they score 33 points because that's 5. That's like between 4 to 5 touchdowns. So that's at least 5 or 6 drives in a matter of a quarter. 5 or 6 drives in a matter of a quarter. I mean, by one team.
And they was down 18. They was down 18, which was Peyton Manning's number. So yeah.
I'm not saying that there's some cheating going on. I'm just saying that if I was going to look deeper into a quarter in the entire birth of the NFL, that fourth quarter would be the one quarter that I would want to find out the answers to.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just saying. Anyway, we'll let that marinate out there somewhere in La La Land. Last game we're going to talk about is going to be the Commanders and Chiefs game, which is, I believe, the late Sunday night game, if memory is serving correctly. Commanders don't have Jaden Daniels.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's going to be an awful game to watch.
They don't have McLaurin. They don't have Debo. So it's going to be ugly as all hell for that game for the Commanders. Commanders right now, just so you know, they're 3-4. Chiefs are 4-3. But I think at the end of this, I think this marks a revolution where the Chiefs start to take control of their destiny again.
Yeah.
We know they won last week. I fully expect them to win this week. You put 2 games back to back of winning, and that starts to create momentum in that direction. I think they get this game tonight, and I think you're gonna see the Chiefs start to go up.
Monday, every sports show, ESPN, Fox Sports, you name it, it's gonna be a tagline. The Chiefs are back.
Man,
Because it's gonna be bad for Washington. You thought that the Cowboys kicking your ass is bad. The Chiefs gonna come in there, command all over the Commander's ass.
So I did misspeak. I was looking at their depth chart. It looks like McLaurin is playing. Yeah, I'm sorry, Monday night, Joe. I apologize. Yeah, I just realized that was a Monday night game. But let me take that back. McLaurin is playing. He actually practiced fully on Thursday.
But who the hell's going to throw to him? Marcus Mariota?
Oh, Mariota's going to be the one getting the rock.
Ain't no way.
But I will say this, hey, but it does put some back into it. I'm looking at Debo, and Debo practiced fully Thursday from that heel issue he was having. So currently, and now again, I'm using ESPN's depth charts, so I'm assuming that these are all up to date. And the fact they don't have designated tells me it probably is. So honestly, they're going to go with the exception of Jaden Daniels. You're going to get a full accoutrement of Washington. I still don't think it turns the needle. I don't think Marcus Mariota is going to be enough. I do think that the Chiefs still take this game, but it does give a little bit more validity if the Chiefs win Monday. That really does make me think that they're going to be up on the upward spiral, because if all you're getting the fact that you got McLaurin and Debo back on that team, that really does greatly enhance that offense. I don't think it's going to be enough, but it gives at least a little bit more legitimacy to the Chiefs if they get that win, that their trajectory is going to be going up. And they'll get that title back.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Steve Spagnuolo is still the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Even with McLaurin being back, that league ain't moving. They're still going to get their ass kicked.
I thought Spagnuolo who was the defensive coordinator for the Eagles?
I forget. I feel like a sports guy would know that question.
Hold on, I'm looking at. I'm googling that right now. I thought Spagnuolo was the defensive coordinator for the Eagles. I might be wrong on that.
I thought it was still with.
No, Vic Fangio. Okay. I had those two names converted. I was having Fangio was with the Chiefs and Spagnuolo with the Eagles, but I was wrong. It was the opposite. So
Spagnuolo's going to have a game plan specifically to stop McLaurin. So there's no way that, especially with Mariota being the quarterback, there's no way that they're going to be able to compete with Chiefs on Sunday or Monday night.
Yeah, because he's going to have to really learn to develop that chemistry with Ertz and with Debo a little bit more closely, or even more a little bit closely. Because I think McLaurin gets double teamed.
You picked a bad time to try to get Zach Ertz, man. But I still would have made a. If I was in your position, I definitely would have made the deal for Zach Ertz as well. Still, so.
Yeah, I know. I know you're going to be a good guy, and you're going to give me Scatterbo back. So I'll have Ertz to you tomorrow. That'll be good.
I bet you wish you would.
I know, man. The whole time I was thinking, I should have traded Trey Benson. I should have given him Trey Benson. I don't know why the hell I gave him fucking Scatterbo. I would say never go against a man whose name is Scatterboo. That just reeks of MVPs all the time.
He might be
and dancers. I thought we were going to be doing the Scatterboo in the nightclubs.
Yeah, especially in New York City. You know
what I mean? Hey, I'm just saying, man. But yeah, no, that's all I wanted to cover today. Man, it's been a hell of a good time. Big Glenn, you got anything in closing that you wanted to say?
No. I mean, actually, I do have something. If you're gonna be shooting, if you're gonna be going to the free throw line 26 times and you wore out, if I was going to free throw line that many times, my ass would be wore out too. So,
I'm just saying, 26 times to a free throw line. Yeah, I might be a little tired. But my conversion rate better be good. Otherwise, all them times to the free throw line wasn't very good for us now, was it? So you
Yeah,
better have a good conversion rate if you're going to the line that many times. Otherwise, you will get dogged out for not having a high point total.
percentage. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like the points, because I don't know, 26 times 2. I mean, what's that? 2? That's like 32 points, 36 points. I don't know, something crazy like that. So yeah, even if you got half of that, or even if you got 20, combine that with another, you better have a 40 or 50 point night. If you're going to the free throw line 26 times, I expect a 40 piece or a 50 piece off of you.
Yeah.
It's over with.
SGA ended up with 55 with that. So yeah.
Did he end up with 55?
Yeah. He
Okay.
went like 23 or 26, which
I knew it was close, somewhere in that neighborhood.
yeah, absolutely.
Man. All right. Well, let's see. Today is Friday. So so tonight is game 1 of Toronto and LA going at it. And that's going to kick off our sports weekend. Glenn, score and team that wins tonight.
Toronto wins 4-2.
Yeah, and who's on the mound tonight, real quick?
I have no idea.
Honestly. Hold on, I'm pulling that up real quick because I want to make sure because I'm leaning towards Toronto too. If it's who I think is pitching, let me see here real quick. All right, so game 1. No, that was the wrong one. There we go. Internet's slow today. All right, so it is going to be a 7:00 time. I'm assuming that's Central. I'm assuming that's probably 7 Central.
8:05, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so it should be 8:00, 8:05 Eastern for you guys on the East Coast. 7:00 for us in the Central time zone. LA does have the edge at 59 to 40%. They're going to get Blake Snell versus Yusavich. Hope I said Yesavich or Yusavich. I'm going to go with the Yankees or the Dodgers on this tonight. Blake's, I don't like it, and I can't stand the Dodgers. So I really hope I'm wrong. I'm really hoping Toronto just kicks their crap out of them. But I got to be honest with you, man, with Blake Snell, and he's been pitching lights out in the postseason. I'm going to go with LA getting the win, but I hope they get the loss.
Yeah, I see Toronto slowing them down a little bit tonight.
Man, I hope so. I hope Vlad just goes up there and just kicks the crap out of the baseball to cover. I hope Springer has a great game as well as a former Houston Astros. So, yeah, let's go. Let's go Dodgers. I hate you. Let's go Dodgers.
Yeah.
God, I wish there was any other team other than Toronto that was going against them because I find it hard to root against the United States. Or even not root necessarily, but even pick a team outside the United States to win. That's a very hard thing for me to do because my patriotism kicks in. But I have to maintain some level of impartialness to it. And with Blake Snell going against Savage, who's got like a 4.2 ERA or something like that in the postseason, even though it's in Toronto, I just feel like that Dodgers team is just so damn scary. At every damn level, they're scary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, I still didn't have them losing a game in the playoffs, but it's still possible because they are hot.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes between now and then. Hey, guys, make sure you have a good weekend. Be safe. Don't do nothing crazy. Don't drink and drive. Beat your girlfriends or your wives. Keep it all clean, folks. And let's have a great weekend and have a good time. It's boy Jay McLovin and Big Glenn saying,
have a good one, y'all.